There are three guarantees in life. Three. Death, taxes, and a weak All-Star weekend. I'm just going to get right into it. First of all, Rising Stars game. Absolutely diabolically ass. They think it's the older guys. That's the problem with All-Star weekend, right? They think the KD, the LeBrons, and all. No. The Rising Stars game between the young guns was absolutely god-awful. I didn't even watch it. I watched the highlights, and it was still god-awful. That's more. Now, let's get to this, too. Get that out the way. The skills challenge. Why is this still a thing in All-Star weekend? They get mad because Chris Paul found a loophole in it. First of all, any other player should be disqualified that's past one for not doing what Chris Paul and Wemby did. I've always thought that, why, if the shots and stuff don't count, why, if it's all about speed, why don't they just not try, just try to burst through it? They got disqualified for that. Skills challenge should not be a thing anymore. It should have been dead 7 years ago. I'm not BSing. It should have been gone 6, 7 years ago. They need to replace that with knockout, replace that with one-on-one tourney, replace it with horse. I don't care. Get the skills challenge out. Now, let's go to the dunk contest. It was great because of one man, and that's Mac McClung. Now, I watched that man in high school. I'm 22, so we're around the same age. When he was in high school, I was seeing his mixtapes. What he's doing now is what he was doing in high school. He's a creative dunker. He's a creative slam dunk guy. It's what he does. Him jumping off a car clean doesn't surprise me, but it was epic. Other than that, about the dunk contest, don't care. Now, maybe this is going to draw out the John Morants or anything. People talking about Zion Williamson. Let me tell you something. I'm not hyped for Zion Williamson because he's already 300 pounds, and 300 pounds is not meant to sit there and jump over people. No, this isn't Zion in high school. This is an older Zion and heavier Zion. Not hyped for that, but John Morants, the Jalen Greens, why not? But once Mac McClung stops doing this, the NBA's going to be in trouble. Three-point contest was cool. I never had a problem with three-point contest, Now, skip all that. Now we get to the All-Star game. And the players, they could have given a little more effort, but honestly, man, the NBA players was not the problem. Nor was the Rising Stars. The guys that play, with Connect and, Keontae George and Thompson, Edie, they weren't the problem. Here's what the problem was. Why were there random performances in All-Star Weekend? I feel like I was watching the BET Awards or the Grammys. Why? They had E40, they had Sweetie, Too Short, In Vogue, DJ Cassidy. That's all great. But I came for basketball. I didn't come for performances. I didn't come to see here and feel like I'm watching BET or the Grammys. I didn't come here for that. And then I love Kevin Hart. I do. He's one of my favorite comedians. But if Kevin Hart wasn't on the show, it wouldn't have made it any worse. And with him being there, it didn't make it any better. Why was Kevin Hart here? He's a 4-time celebrity MVP. He's been to All-Star Weekend damn near every year. Enough's enough with Kevin Hart being there. He honestly made it worse. And I hate to say that as a Kevin Hart fan, he made it worse. Other than his joke of him saying Shaq looked like a porn director, which was hilarious, by the way. That was it. That was it. There was nothing entertaining about Kevin Hart being here. Him, nagging Shea during the game. For what? It was unnecessary. Unnecessary. Now, let's get to this too. The commercials. Again, I felt like I was watching a BET production. You know how when you watch a Tyler Perry movie that's an hour 30 minutes long, but all of a sudden it only shows 45 minutes of live television? Why is that? Because it's so many damn commercials every 5 seconds, and the commercials last 6, 7 minutes long. That's what happened in this. The Shaq OGs versus the Chuck Global Stars. That game, it didn't feel like a game. It felt like a charity event because the OGs was up. Shaq's team up 11-1. They call it timeout. I think, okay, timeout, whatever, getting it right. They down 11-1. Chuck's don't get the players right, whatever. I swear for Lord, it took 5 minutes for commercials to turn off. And then when they get back to the game, they want to sit here and give flowers to TNT. In the middle of a game. The target score is 40. Why is it taking so long? First of all, there should never be a timeout or a halftime in a game that goes to 40. Can you imagine in street ball, all of a sudden you playing 11-1 and all of a sudden they have a mini carnival in the middle of the court for 2 hours and then all right, y'all, we're going to get back to your game now. Why would All-Stars want to be there for this? Why would the players want to be here for this? Okay? Enough's enough. That was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And then on top of that, I don't know about y'all, but I am over Kenny Smith commentating on dunk contest. First of all, he wasn't Vince Carter or Clyde Drexler or any of those guys dunking. So why is he commenting on this? I'm tired of Kenny Smith saying, "Oh, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God." He's not funny, and he thinks he is. The only thing funny about Kenny Smith is that he walks like he has 2 left legs and 2 right shoes. That's it. And he has big teeth. Every time he smiles, I think his gum's going to bleed. That's the only thing that's funny about Kenny Smith. And then you add that with Reggie Miller, who thinks he's funny, when the only thing that's funny is you're a millionaire and your teeth are crooked as hell. That's it. Them two on commentator together is the most cringe-worthy show you can possibly imagine. But Reggie Miller is a part of TNT commentary, so that's what he does. But Kenny, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Tell them to please be quiet. And then, on top of that, you got to deal with the All-Star game. You got to deal with Charles Barkley destroying the game like he always does, destroying the product. For what? Kevin Hart destroying the product. Why? Why? This is not fair to NBA players. Let's just be real. The format, I never have a huge problem with the format. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'm also don't have a problem with it. It's just whatever. But if I'm going to try hard, what's the point of me trying hard if you're going to destroy the game? Destroy the product. That's the problem with older players that are watching the game now. They have nothing positive to say. Nothing. It's like they're watching it just because they get a check for it, not because they actually care and love the game and want to actually mentor younger players. Instead, during the All-Star game, they want to shit on the product. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? All-Star Weekend was an absolute joke. And it wasn't really the players. It wasn't the game. Now, in the last game, they could have gave more effort. But the young stuff, the Shaq OGs was trying against the young guys. They were. You know, Kenny's team and Candace's team, they was trying. Well, Candace faced Shaq. Chuck faced Kenny. Those teams were actually trying. They were arguing about calls and stuff. That happened. But they also were having a little bit of fun with it. And that's what it mattered. Wemby tried more than anybody there. But in the end, All-Star Weekend, it's ridiculous at this point. It's just a walking advertisement. And people want to sit here and blame the players. And I see Kendrick Perkins on First Take, which I'm going to talk about First Take too. I'm going to react to that a little bit later. I have to hear Kendrick Perkins say this is an Adam Silver problem. Are you kidding me? What has Adam Silver done that's actually been positive to the league right now? Nothing. This format didn't change anything. He made everything a big ad. You bring in Kevin Hart for no reason. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then on top of that, he's talking about making games 40 minutes. So you want to lower the games by 8 minutes and do what? We couldn't get through 2 minutes of a game without you filling in commercial after commercial after commercial after commercial. If you can do that for a game that could possibly be 5 minutes at most, but you want to lower the game for a lower NBA game, then that's going to be torture. It's going to be torture. Things need to change. Take out the All-Star game. The players don't care. Everyone's going to be upset about it. Just take out the All-Star game. Take out All-Star Weekend and revamp and rethink of some stuff that's actually entertaining. People be talking about the 1v1 tourney. That's fine. That's fine. Kyrie Irving said that Kyrie is one of the best one-on-one players to ever play a game. Of course, he's going to be down for it. You know, they're talking about $1 million prize. That's fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, okay, you have that. What about the skills challenge that absolutely stinks? What about the dunk contest without Mac McClung? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The Rising Stars game is absolutely terrible. If there are no real shining rising stars, no one cares to watch. This isn't like the Dion Waiters and Tim Hardaway when they was having basically a one-on-one to make it. These guys ain't doing that. Because the talent isn't like that in the Rising Stars game for me to care. Wemby's not even in it. You do realize he's only his second year. He wasn't even in it. He's in the All-Star game. Why? Because he's more talented than all of them, so he deserves to be in the All-Star game. But the Rising Star game is not entertaining to watch. It's not. And am I tripping? Did I see Bronny in there? Bronny in the Rising Stars game. Why? Why? He's a G Leaguer. Why is he in there? Makes no sense. All-Star Weekend needs to be abolished. Figure it out. Because it's awful. It's not competitive. It's not interesting. Y'all trying to have funny guys like Kevin Hart and all that. It don't work. It doesn't work. let it go, let it die. Bye.